Welcome to the House of Hammer, built by the nation for the nation. Welcome to Raider Nation News today. If it's your first time in here, do me a favor, follow these 3 easy steps, break them thumbs, hammer that sub, smash the bell to stay up to date with all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions. We will be live momentarily. Antonio Pierce's press conference. This was definitely on the fly the way I set this up, so I'm hoping everything is on the up and up. I appreciate y'all. I know people are going to slowly start to come in. Let me get the chat highlight and all that fun stuff going. This is actually supposed to start in like another 3 minutes or so, where Antonio Pierce will take to the podium after the tie. Yes, we tied last night in our preseason finale at Allegiant versus San Francisco 49ers. Really good game. We have a lot to talk about in terms of that game. Taino, Terry, salute to you guys pulling on up right now. Let's get this chat highlight going, and we should be good to go. Give me 1 second, guys. This is like the type of situation I don't like doing, where I have to set this up and 1, 2, 3 hit that live button, but hopefully everything works. Okay, chat highlight is on the money. We're good to go. Let's see, one more thing and we will be good. Just waiting for the start. We're watching the newest episode, the latest episode of As the Shield Turns. And the second that Antonio Pierce takes to the podium, we will be bringing to you live coverage of his press conference after last night's tie. And just make sure everything else is good on here right now. Anthony, what's good, my guy? Pin. All right, so we should be good right now. Huey P, salute, salute, salute. I don't want to go to the next screen over where we have the presser. The second it starts, obviously, I'll switch it out and everything should be good there. I appreciate y'all coming on in. Shout out to DeMarcus Wilder. Thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. You guys really want to support me? The best way to do that is click the membership link. It's pinned to the very top. And again, you guys see it in the top left-hand corner, 9047. Next goal, right as it stands right now, is 10K. Let's run it up, run it up, run it up. Somebody put the bat signal out. Let them know that Hammer is live right now. We will have this live coverage. We don't need you sitting there bored out of your skulls watching the rotating shield. Yes, it's annoying. I can't stand it. It is what it is. Let's pull up the box score. Again, everything is on the fly right now, but I got this. Obviously, we're not going to be talking about the Niners. We're going to be talking about our Las Vegas Raiders. Peterman took majority of, actually, he took the first half. So Nathan Peterman, Peter Goat, 12 for 19, 108 yards, 5.7 on average, 1 touchdown, 95.9 rating. Carter Bradley, 9 for 21, 169 yards, 8 on average, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He was sacked once for a loss of 5, rating 67.4. Our run game, Sincere McCormick, 5 for 26, 5 on 2 on average. Longest was 10. Dylan Laube, 3 carries, 12 yards. He did have that 1 fumble. Average 4 yards per carry. 8 was his longest. Tariq McAllister, and that's a guy we're going to talk about later on today. 1 carry, 7 yards. Britton Brown, 2 for 7. Nathan Peterman, 3 for 7. Carter Bradley, 1 for 1. The receivers, Ramel Keaton, who showed up when it mattered most to have us drive down the field with under 2 minutes left in the game to ultimately finish the game in a tie. 4 receptions, 26 yards, 19 on average. Longest was a 22 yards was his longest. He was targeted 8 times. Tariq McAllister, 2 receptions, 56 yards, 1 touchdown. It's that 35-yard bomb. Christian Wilkerson, 3 receptions, 35 yards. Britton Brown, 2 receptions, 32 yards. Jalen Guyton, 3 for 19. John Samuel Shanker, the tight end, 1 for 18. Cole Fotheringham, 1 for 15. Alex Bachman, 1 for 7. Zach Gentry, 1 for 7. AP is up.
Good morning. Hey, Antonio. I was wondering, you've got a pretty young cornerback room. I know DeCamerion didn't play yesterday. Some young guys got on the field last night. How do you feel about the depth in that position? I know you've talked about depth and the importance of it in that room in particular.
Yeah, I think it's still a work in progress.
Hi, Coach. Alex Eshelman here with Channel 13. Biggest improvement that you would like to see moving forward from your team, and then biggest accomplishment that you've seen as you wrap up the preseason?
Yeah, I like us to improve the line of scrimmage, both on the offensive line and defensive line. We talk about winning that and being physical and dominating up front, and that didn't show up in the preseason. And one thing I was really excited about was just our return game. I think Trey Tucker and McAllister both showcase that they got some big play ability. We saw it last night, obviously. McAllister did a great job returning that for us, but Trey Tucker as well.
Ed, go ahead.
Coach, you've had 3 games now in entire training camp. Going into this first game, what are some of the characteristics you'd like your team defined by? How would you like your team defined as a team?
Yeah, physical, tough, don't blink, no flinching, and then handling situational football.
Hey, Antonio, I know last night you mentioned, you got to huddle up with Tom and, obviously make some hard decisions about the roster ahead of Tuesday. What are sort of your priorities when you're looking to how you want to build a roster out and just, sort of how you want the roster to look in terms of depth and which position you value more as a defensive coach? What's sort of your vision for the roster looking ahead of it?
Yeah, well, one, I'm not a defensive coach. I'm the head coach. So my background is defense. So I look at everything overall. To me, special teams is a forefront for me, just to make sure that we're sound there. We got 2 kickers that can really change the game with Daniel and AJ. But really the depth, it goes back to, Vincent's question earlier. He asked about the depth of the corner, just constantly improving that room. Between wide receivers and DBs, you constantly lose those guys throughout the season. And you want to have depth. You want to feel good about that. And I think just, overall front, just, when the game comes down to like it did, last night and teams are running the ball and you want to stop the run in certain situations, a 4-minute, or say we got the ball down the red zone, we want to run it in. You want to finish those drives the right way. And those are the things I think we want to improve on. I know Tom sees it the same way. But to act like we're going to just sit there and flip this roster over the next 48 hours, that's not going to happen. A lot of the guys that's going to be on our practice squad and that make our 50-man roster are here. Like everybody in the league, there's going to be anywhere from 5 to 8 players that, there's going to be change, and that's going to happen, throughout the season, just constantly, rotating that bottom part of the roster.
Antonio, a quick follow-up on the cornerbacks. Do you feel like Brandon Faison is going to be something that you can count on to start the season? And if not, do you feel like those reserve and backup answers are there on the roster right now, or maybe that's something that you have to look outside the building?
Yeah, we got to get Brandon on the field. I can't even evaluate him because we haven't had him out there. So it's just tough, and it's put a lot of these younger corners out ahead. It's good for them in preseason and training camp to get reps, but, I'm not a believer of, throwing young corners out there early if they're not quite ready. So it'd be good to get Brandon back, in a fold and healthy.
AP, kind of following up on Vinny just asked, how aggressive do you see yourself being on sort of the waiver wire this week?
Hey, if we can get better, we need to get better.
Any more questions? All right, Vinny.
All right, guys. Vinny, sorry.
That's okay. I wanted to ask you, I forgot to ask you last night about Ramel Keaton, another guy that kind of came alive there in that last drive. We saw a lot in that in training camp. How pleased were you to see 82 show up the way he did?
I mean, yeah, we threw the ball a lot. He had 8 targets, but no, man, it was really good to see, because if you remember last week, he had one go off his fingertips, didn't quite make it, and he made some really, really tough catches last night. Maybe not the best ball placement we wanted, but 2-minute drill. I mean, he showed up and he was active, and you really felt him, and he's a very talented player, and I think he's still trying to find his way in the pro game. And I think it was good last night for him to go out there and really showcase that in a critical situation in the game to allow us to either tie it up or win it. And, obviously we kicked the field goal. But I think he's a guy that we had our eye on early, especially in the offseason program. And, some other guys kind of stepped up, and you kind of forget about him a little bit because he doesn't make a play or two here. And then last night, like we asked those guys, to really step out and make it, tough for us, over the next 48 hours.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Hey, thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
There you guys have it. The presser, the post presser, Antonio Pierce after the 24-24 tie in the preseason finale versus the San Francisco 49ers. Welcome in, everybody. Those that are just coming in a little bit late, all good. You're here. That's all that matters. Those that are just coming in, do me a favor, break them thumbs, hammer that sub, smash a bell. Let's get back into this box score, and we're going to talk about the defense momentarily, and then we'll talk a little bit more about this game. When it came to defensive side, Amari Gaynor, man, we talked about him throughout the entire night. 13 total tackles, 10 solo, 2 for a loss. Jaquan Shepard, 9 total, 7 solo. Jaden Grant, 9 total, 5 solo. Kanai Mauga, another guy that was all over the place last night when he was out there, 7 total, 5 solo. Sam Webb, 6 total, 2 solo. Chris Smith, 5 total, 4 solo. Pass deflection, and he also had that interception. Nessa Jade Silvera, 4 for 3. Ron Stone, 4 for 2. Charles Snowden, 3 for 2. 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, and 1 pass deflection. Great job by him. Who else had the sacks last night? Byron Young had a tackle, a sack rather, 3 total, 2 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss. Matthew Butler, 3 total, 1 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, and a QB hit. They were getting in, and this was the most pressure that we saw throughout this preseason. We knocked the quarterback around quite a bit last night. It was a solid job overall by the defensive line and the linebackers. Give credit to the secondary as well. Like I said, Chris Smith, the guy that we were talking about, was a bit of a bubble guy. He almost had 2. He still got the 1. So it's all that matters. Solid job, solid performance by him. For the returns, you had, Tyreek McAllister, 2 kick returns, 57 yards total, as long as it's 29. Tulu Griffin, 1 return, 32 yards. Dax Milne, 1 return, 30 yards. Dylan Laube, 1 return, 24 yards. For the punt returns, Tyreek McAllister, the 1 that he did have, he made it count, 81 yards to the house. Dax Milne, 1 return, 2 yards. And that's really it in terms of the box score. Again, we weren't really expecting to see a lot. It's a preseason. And again, we didn't have our starters out there. We had guys that were out there fighting for jobs. And those guys did a pretty solid job, especially against their the 49ers' first string as well. So I was very happy to see what our defense was capable of doing. And again, these are guys that are looking to make that 53-man roster. So I was very satisfied with that. But the 2 main guys that really stood out last night was Amari Gaynor and Tyreek McAllister, both all over the place. McAllister with the 2 touchdowns. He had the 35-yard reception and the 81-yard punt return to the house. You had Amari Gaynor that was just a dog, a tackling machine. Anywhere he needed to be, he was there front and center and made his presence felt. So I was very, very happy with both of those guys. I really hope. McAllister, I definitely see making this roster, probably as a special teams specialist. Gaynor, I want to see him on this depth chart 1,000%. When it comes to the quarterbacks right now, I think Peterman was ultimately brought in to get some reps, as we knew our starters weren't playing, get some reps, pretty much maybe potentially showcase for another team. But with Carter Bradley and what he did last night, I think that Carter Bradley could be the 3rd quarterback on this roster. Granted, Peterman does have the familiarity with Luke Getsy's offensive scheme. We'll see. I believe Tuesday is cut day. We will see ultimately Tuesday what our 53-man roster is going to look like. And I'll be more excited because that just brings us a hell of a lot closer to week 1 against our bitter rivals, the LA Chargers. Let's see. Am I missing anybody in here? I think we found our kick returner. It could be McAllister, most definitely. Snowden did a pretty solid job too, Jason Downs. I can't take that away from him. Let me bring that back up real quick. 3 total, 2 solo. He had 1 sack. He had a tackle for a loss, a pass deflection, and 3 QB hits. Another guy that was making his presence felt on the quarterback. Solid job all around. Like I said, the defensive line, the linebackers that were there last night, I was very happy. I, honest to God, thought that we were going to be watching a game with a bunch of guys, again, no disrespect, these guys trying to get their roster spots. I felt that I was going to fall asleep, and definitely didn't happen at all. I was very intrigued with what we saw throughout that entire game. The very last play, when the Niners kind of tried to run the annexation of Puerto Rico, I was like, oh no, please don't let this happen. Please don't let this happen. We held it down. They tried an illegal forward pass, so had they even crossed the plane, it would have been negated anyways. But again, a very solid job all around. I got to give Carter Bradley his flowers. That 2-minute drive, man. And Keaton, oh my goodness, Keaton all of a sudden woke up. You heard us talking about some of his miscues last night, including that one on that route. I believe it was a slant across the middle. The dude stopped himself in his own tracks. I don't know if he heard footsteps or what have you, but he stopped dead in his tracks and didn't even attempt to catch the ball. But he definitely did his thing during that 2-minute drive. And for those that just got the opportunity to see Antonio Pierce in the press conference, he had a big smile on his face when they mentioned Rashad Caton. So really, really solid job there by him. Way to pick himself up and make plays happen when they needed to happen. So shout out to him as well. I thought they played a good job against the first. Yeah, Leaky, I feel the same way. Can't get right. Salute, my guy. Hammer has all the nails needed today. We need to come up because, people have different terminologies, different segments when it comes to them giving their credit to top players. We need to come up with one for this channel. Somebody be creative. I try to be as creative as possible. I want to just see what you guys think, and we'll come up with something. Like I'm very, very interested to see what you guys have to say. Salute to one of the two. Oh, both mod mothers are in here. Sarah H and Elite. Salute to all you guys. These youngins out there played hard the entire game. Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, I didn't plan on coming on today. At least not right now. I've been doing a whole bunch of things around the house. I'm going to stay on for a little bit longer with you guys. I can't connect my phone. My battery is actually almost dead. Like, I just had to start charging it a little while ago. So I'm going to see if we could do one other way of doing this. Maybe. Let's try it real quick. I don't mean to give you guys dead air. I hate that, but let me see if this will work. And if it does, we can open it up for a little bit. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on last night's preseason finale. Let me just try to get this up as quickly as possible. And you guys know I don't pay attention to how many I have. So one of my mods or somebody else, let me know how many we have in the chat right now. I appreciate that. Nope, I'm not doing that. This is all set up. We're money right now. I think we can do this. Who are we keeping at running back? Adam Sweeney, that's a great question. We have 128 in the chat. I appreciate each and every single one of y'all. Break them thumbs, hammer that sub, smash the bell. We talked about this last night for a little bit, and this is where I was going with it. Zeus, Madison, Abdullah, Lauby, and then I said it was going to be a toss-up at the last spot between Britton Brown and Sincere McCormick. And as it stands right now, if we were to go with 5, I think this is Sincere McCormick's job. I do. I absolutely do. Britton Brown, I don't know, man. He definitely needs to work on those hands, though. Got a couple of easy passes thrown to him, and it's just like he could not bring him in. So I think that Britton Brown might either be on the practice squad or on his way out. Salute to Ty Davis on the 199. Super. The youngsters played better than the starters, in my opinion. These guys really looked solid yesterday. And I know a lot of people were saying that they were nervous about our depth in regards to guys after our starters. But a lot of these guys stepped up tremendously last night, and we held our own. We didn't walk out of the preseason with a win, but we did finish the preseason. I think finishing the way we did, the way that our offense finished on that 2-minute drive last night, I think that it was a better note to walk off from than walk off with an 0-3 record or another loss. I think they did a phenomenal job, especially when it mattered the most last night. And like I said, I gave my guys their credit. I'm looking forward to seeing Tuesday, ultimately, this 53-man roster and what we have. They did mention Brandon Faison in this presser just now. I didn't really hear much of it. I had to step out for a second. I still don't think Faison makes this roster. I do not. I really do not think he makes this roster. They played well, really, actually. Yeah, they did. AR Bowling was good, my guy. Are y'all up for it? We can do this for a couple of minutes. We've already been on 20 minutes. Like I said, I don't plan on being long for this today. We got through that presser fairly quickly. We already went through our guys that stood out. We went through the box score. There you guys have it on the screen. 347-471-0361 if you guys want to call in and sound off last night. The presser just now. What to look forward to. Shout out to GA on the 499. 37 starters not dressed out. Only 16 guys who played last night will make the final 53. There you go. Raider Nation Jason, salute my guy. Giovanni, what's good? We had guys really step up in that game. We did. We absolutely did. McAllister needs to be on the roster. And I believe he will be, AR. I really do believe he will be. He definitely opened up some eyes last night. So I'm really intrigued to see what they do, how they do. He makes this roster. I'm curious to see how they'll utilize him. I could definitely see him as a return man. You might even have him. Dude has 4.3 speed. It's another guy you can throw in there on gadget plays, have him on end around leads and reverses. So we'll see. There you guys see it on the screen. The vault line is open. I believe it's open. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, it's open. 347-471-0361. Call in, sound off. Let's talk about it, y'all. I appreciate everybody that pulled on up last night for the game. I appreciate everybody that's pulled on up this afternoon or this morning, wherever you guys are at. What does not seeing Tyree last night tell us? That he's got a roster spot, and realistically, he would have had a roster spot anyways. He's under contract for the next 3 seasons, and that'd be a lot of dead cap if we were to just outright let him go. I don't know if anybody is on the market necessarily right now for an edge rusher, and I know a lot of people have said their things about him. I said this the other night, and I believe I said it last night as well when it comes to Tyree. Tyree throughout this training camp should have been a guy that should have gotten more reps on the interior than he should have on the edge. We know the edge is pretty much locked with Kuntz and Max. It would have been more fitting for Tyree, especially with what we saw out of him towards the tail end last year of having him on the interior. We get to week 1, we'll see how he's going to be used. Mark, salute, my guy. McAllister might be a guy you could teach some corner. That would be kind of interesting. Ricky Two Toes, Hammer, what's up, bro? Do you think Brock Bowers gets over 700 yards this season? If he can stay healthy, team needs to fear him. Look, I'm all here for the 12 personnel. I do believe that he could be a guy that could get over 700 yards this season. I'm not sure why they aren't moving him. Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know either. And I know that's in terms of Tyree Wilson. I don't know either. Again, we get to week 1. We see what he's capable of doing against the Los Angeles Chargers, and then we take it 1 week at a time. That's it. Great. Mark, let me highlight this real quick. Great job last night. I listened to you while watching the game. Great job, brother. I really appreciate that. Thank you. That's the one thing that I love doing is doing live play-by-play when I can, and I definitely salute to Graf because I think last night the way we did it was like spot on. Like I can give you guys the formations. I can give you guys the play as it happens. And with him, the way that he came out with who it was that did this on this play, like afterwards, that's spot on. That's good play-by-play color commentary back and forth. Like that, shout out to him, man. In my opinion, I think it was probably one of the more better live watch parties that we've done together just based upon that itself. And I haven't even looked back at it yet. But salute to him. I really enjoyed it. And like I said, I didn't ultimately know what to expect going into last night's game. I was already dead tired. I'd been up since 6 a.m. And I'm like telling myself, I feel like I'm going to fall asleep through this game. No, I was very intrigued and very into it last night. They're open. Elite, it's open. I don't have any missed calls at the moment. It's open, though. It is open, guys. Unless I have it selected on the wrong one. Oh, I do. Hold up. Shit. No, I don't. We're good. It's up. It's up and running. Let's go. 347-471-0361. It is open. Let's go, guys. You guys got me like confusing myself right now. Can't get right. I appreciate you. Thanks for keeping us informed, bro. Raiders in the nation. We will be ready. Hammer, you rock. Appreciate you, Armando. Dan, what's good? Omar, what's good? Yeah, it was a surprisingly fun game. Like I said, I definitely think they left on a better note with at least the tie and the performances of a lot of these guys as opposed to a loss and getting dog walked. And again, you had guys on our side of the ball, non-starters, that did their thing against a lot of pretty much the Niners starting offense. Brock Purdy was out there. Debo was out there. Like, Kittle was out there. They held their own. They did a good job. Again, it ended in a tie. I'm fine with that right now. I know Elite says she wants to call in. I'm looking on the log. I have nothing right now. Nothing on the call log right now. I'll put the number back up on the screen for you guys. And salute to everybody we have in here. Again, no idea how many, but I appreciate y'all. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here with me on your Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. Appreciate each and every single one of y'all. And again, if you haven't already, break them thumbs, hammer that sub, smash a bell. Hopefully we don't have that issue like we did the other day where it just completely went bye-bye. We have 129 in here right now. And I still have a lot of things I need to do around the house, so let's get through this. Where's the clip of Debo getting bent back and smashed? No Diddy, yes, right. I haven't seen it. Can't get right. You know what it is. You know what it is. You know what it is.
Acknowledge me.
You guys see it right there on the screen. If nobody calls in, we'll probably just end it. Like I said, I didn't plan on being on. I do have a lot of things I want to square away today to enjoy the rest of my weekend. So for those that are in here, I appreciate y'all. And what's crazy is I haven't mentioned this yet because I was kind of waiting for it to actually happen. But we're actually getting very, very close to another milestone. And that milestone is 1 million views. I saw it the other day. We're only like maybe 2,500 to 2,700 shy of 1 million views. So appreciate each and every single one of y'all, man. Gaynor and Snowden are keepers. Absolutely, STEM. Absolutely. I watched the game going mad, but after thinking it was our 2s and 3s versus the 1s, we did pretty good. Space Beast, 1,000% right. Have to clean the damn house. Yep. I always look forward to Elite spitting facts. And I'm waiting for Elite to spit her facts right now. Like, I'm waiting. You guys see the number on the screen. Anybody can call in. Like, don't be shy. Don't be... You're not going to get judged. Like, come on. We're here to have a good time. Obviously, we're not going to be on here for a long time today, but I want to hear your guys' insights. I love when you guys talk in the chat, but I would like to connect and hear from you guys over the phone as well. So let's do it, y'all. Shout out to MC Raider 5150. Salute, my guy. Solitude isn't healthy behavior. Oh, Lord, here we go. Here we go. I'm tempted to move. You know what? This is what I will do because I'm not going to have the screen share up again. Let me move the voice over. Uh-oh, that's full screen. I can't do it that way. Hold on, guys. There we go. Calls. Just so I can see when somebody does call in, if they call in. But we are all set right now. I'm only using 3. I'm not using the monitor up top right now. I have the chat dead center, so I'm seeing everything you guys are saying. And again, salutes at 130 in the chat right now. I'm not alone. I got the dog bugging me. Oh, Lord. Who's calling defensive plays? They didn't look bad as far as the blitzes from the corners. S-Ray, from what I understand last night, and I'm pretty sure Graf had mentioned this, I don't think Getsy or Patrick Graham were calling the offense or the defense last night. Dirty Eric, salute, my guy. I don't think either one of them were calling plays last night. But again, regardless of who was calling them last night or not, it wasn't the full playbook either. So I'm perfectly fine with what they did. I'm perfect. Like the execution again, what the defensive line did. We didn't have a single sack the first 2 weeks of the preseason. We had 3 sacks last night. We had turnovers. We got our first caller. Raider Nation News Today. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yo, Hammer, it's Ty Davis from the Jersey Shore.
What up, my guy?
What up, dog?
Chilling.
Same old, bro. Figure I'd hit you up while I'm on my lunch break. Freaking, that game last night, first of all, I was up to like 1 o'clock, which is crazy because I had to be to work at 5 this morning. But, yeah, the game was like, that was the most exciting game during the preseason, like, in my opinion. Like, these guys held their own against San Fran starters.
Yep.
That dude, was it Tyreek McAllister?
Yep.
Dog. Like, that boy, dog. When was the last time we seen a punt return taken to the house? When was the last time?
It was just collectively of everything, and like I was just mentioning before you called in, like, look, we forced turnovers last night, man. We had an INT, we had a fumble recovery. Special teams did that thing with McAllister in the 81-yard to the house. Like everything looked pretty damn good from that standpoint. And those guys, I would be stunned if any of those guys are not making the 53-man roster. Like, again, Amari Gaynor, holy shit. Snowden did his thing too.
Boy.
Like, there's no reason these guys should not be making this roster right now.
It's crazy because that was these were our first sacks of the preseason.
Exactly.
It's crazy. It's nuts. It's freaking nuts. I can see these guys taking like people's starting positions. Honestly.
I think these guys. I think they're gonna find ways to work these guys in. If somebody needs to get a break, then they'll fill in. But I don't know. I wouldn't go as far right now as to say like these guys are gonna run starter spots right now.
I would definitely put McAllister as starting on special teams.
I'll put him, and I would say Tucker back there, but we need Tucker. I wouldn't mind having Tariq McAllister and Dylan Laube back there as our kick returners. Punt returner, I would definitely have Tariq McAllister there as our punt returner, most definitely.
Well, we'll see what AP and the coaching staff does, man.
Absolutely.
We'll see what they do.
Absolutely. Ty, I appreciate it, bro, and I hope to see you soon, bro.
Definitely, bro. You gonna be at the Jersey Shore takeover again?
We're trying to figure something out right now. It's something that's in the works. I will keep you posted.
Keep me posted, man, because I will put in a personal day to go to that one.
Appreciate you, bro. I'll definitely talk to you soon.
All right, bro. Let me get back to work.
All right, take
Later,
care, man.
Nation.
Shout out to Ty Davis. Yeah, that fumble did hurt. Raider Nation News Today. What's your name? Where you calling from? Oh, they hung up. Okay. Yeah, that Laube fumble definitely hurt. Cambo, what's good, my guy? And you guys see it on the screen. You just had, I think, 2 people tried. Here's another one. Raider Nation News Today. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Raider Hammer? This your boy, Old School Raider, calling from Lithonia, GA, man. How you been doing? It's been a long time since we talked.
Old School. What's good, my guy? How are you?
Not much, man. I'm just calling, man, because I'm kind of upset, man, what Antonio Pierce did by letting Jimmy Garoppolo, let me rephrase the name again, Jimmy Glass Joe Garoppolo 2.0. See, I added that Mike Tyson punch-out flavor in here for you, Nintendo. And I really think he should have just let Aidan O'Connell, be the starting quarterback, because he was hyping Aidan O'Connell up last season, and I really don't like the decision that he made. And when the smoke clears, you know, is gonna blow up in Raider Nation face because he made a bad mistake.
So you have to look at it from this standpoint. And look,
Of course.
right now, there's nothing, and I'm hoping to God that there's nothing that comes out from the media trying to twist this in any way, shape, or form. But as it goes with Minshew has the experience. Minshew,
Yeah, I know that.
Minshew's played for 4 other teams, and at the same time, like, he was a guy that stood out, and it wasn't just AP's decision. This was a collective decision between Getsy, between Tom Telesco, and AP as well. And he said what he said last week in the presser when he announced Minshew being the starter, that the leadership was something that played a huge role in it too. I don't know if you guys had the chance to see the video of Gardner Minshew hyping up the Raiders offense and the Raiders team as a whole before the game.
I saw it.
He has a different type of energy. Granted, look, Aidan O'Connell's his second year in. We know what AP said going into the offseason and during OTAs. But look, things change. Actions speak louder than words. Like the reps that they got, and again, for those that were thinking it was just a preseason, it wasn't just a preseason. We did have Joe Arrigo on a couple of days ago. Salute to my guy who was at Costa Mesa when they had the practices out there and pretty much like said what he said from what he saw during those practices. And he spoke to a lot of these reporters as well that are out there as well. Minshew earned that job. And I've said this. I ultimately did not care who the starter was. They think that Minshew right now is the guy that gives us the best chance to win. And we have a very tough schedule the first couple of weeks of the season. This dude is starting the first quarter, which is the first 4-5 games of this season. We see what he's doing. If this team is below 500, if this team is 1-3, 0-4, then there might be some cause of some concern. But it also depends on his playing. It depends if he's turning the ball over too damn much. But he's a guy that can make plays happen. And the other thing is, when it comes to a lot of these opposing teams we have this year, they have some serious guys on their defensive line, whether it be in the interior or the edge, that we need a quarterback that can move his ass and get out of that pocket and make things happen when he needs to. Week 1, we have Khalil Mack. When Khalil Mack and Aidan O'Connell faced each other the first time around, O'Connell was sacked about 6 or 7 times by Khalil Mack alone.
I saw that game.
We have the Chiefs twice this year, as always. Let me rewind. Let me rewind.
Okay.
Chargers, Chiefs. You have Khalil Mack. You have to see him twice this season. You have Chris Jones with Kansas City. You have to see him twice this year. We have Carolina. Carolina now has Jadeveon Clowney. We see Pittsburgh. We have to worry about TJ Watt. We have Baltimore. We have to worry about Justin Matabuki. This is a reason where you look at, oh shit, now this makes sense. You need a guy that's going to be able to extend plays with his feet and get out of the pocket with guys on the defensive line that are those elite defensive linemen. So I'm here for it. I get it. I don't know why people were up in arms the other day about it, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And one quick question, two more questions before I let you go. What do you think about all this drama that's about Devontae Adams not playing in the preseason? How do you feel about that? How did you feel about that?
Preseason's over, so it doesn't matter. The thing with it was, he was asked a question about it. He had said that he hadn't played in a preseason game since 2016, which we determined was a lie. He played in 2013 when McDaniels was here. He also played in 2018 and 2019 when he was with Green Bay. Just because, like, even if it was a play or a series, whatever. But I think the very next day, Antonio Pierce took to the podium, and the media right away pretty much tried to snitch and was like, well, Devontae said this, and he's not going to play in the preseason game. Like, and then we got through that game against Dallas, and we heard the presser after, oh, he's dealing with a foot injury. It's like, let's be real. We know that you guys talked, and it was agreed upon, like, yo, he's not going to play the preseason game. So for him to be like, yeah, he's dealing with a foot injury, I straight up said it, and I'll say it again. It was bullshit. And it is what it is at this point in time.
Okay, and last question. Do you think Tyree Wilson gonna live up to the hype, or do you see the Raiders let him go in the near future?
Everybody asked me this question, and I feel like I'm the only Raider content creator that people ask this question to, because this was a guy that I had us drafting. I said year 2 is supposed to be the year that he breaks out.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a little taken back at the fact that they were using him more as an edge rusher through this preseason. They should have really been continuing to.
Yeah, so
have
you're
him
curious
develop.
like me because he haven't had a breakout season.
No, they should have continued to have him develop on the interior. The
Yes.
rookie season, I understood everything. He didn't have a full off-season workouts or anything because he was dealing with that foot injury. He eventually got on at the very end, but still dealing with the injury. You didn't have a full offseason. It wasn't going to be like a surprise year. At the same time, Chandler Jones was there. Chandler Jones was supposed to be the starting edge rusher. Chandler Jones had the mental issues and costed us a lot as well. I think he's gonna be fine. I think that people are gonna be surprised with what he'll be capable of doing. Let's get through the first couple of weeks of the season to evaluate, and then we can say what we want to say about him. But until then, I'm tired of hearing the people, he's a bust, he's this, he was a waste, da-da-da-da. Like, give the kid time.
Okay. And last and not least, man, I think the defense need to stop doing these one-on tackles and need to go back to the old school, like the old school Raider defense used to do, like they did back in the day, tackle with both arms and drag them down.
We saw a lot of the arm tackling last night. Was one thing I absolutely mentioned, because there were a couple of these plays where these guys were whiffing on these tackles, and 49ers just extending these plays, and they didn't need to be extended. So I totally hear you. But OG, let me let you go. I definitely appreciate the call, bro.
I know. All right, man.
Take care.
Remember, Raiders for life. I'm out.
Later, bro. Shout out to OG. I'm going to take one more call, and then we're going to end it. We've already been on for almost 45 minutes, and I still got things I got to take care of. Raider Nation News Today. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Elite with the Heat. This is my other line.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. And this is, what better way to end the vault line than hearing from Elite? What's good? Sound off. The floor is yours. The floor is yours.
All right. What's going on, Raider Nation? What's going on, Hammer? Man, just ready for this season to start. I want to speak on Amari Gaynor, too, because he was actually on my one of my players to watch. I made a post on Twitter the other day, and two players, of course, that I was looking at was Amari Gaynor and Nesta J. Silvera, because I thought that they had, like, the most opportunity to actually make this roster based on their play last night to solidify what they got. Amari Gaynor, hey, linebacker is my favorite position in football. I'm going to say it now. He's better than Divine Diablo right now. Dare I say it. He's better than Divine Diablo. And I'm explaining why I say that.
I want to hear this.
It's because of the fluidity in which he plays. You can see the natural instinct of how he flows on the field as a linebacker. He reads, reacts, he goes. You don't see him. Sometimes you can see players think, and when they're thinking out on the field, he reacts and he goes. He has the ability to play with his hands, meaning he knows how to keep linemen off him. Because he was a defensive end during his time at both Florida State and North Carolina. So what do you learn when you play in, Hammer? You learn how to use your hands, extend your arms, right, so the lineman doesn't, grab hold of you, so you're able to get off tackles. That's what he does in the wash as a linebacker. And when I seen that and his ability to extend, I said, man, I don't see that from Divine as of right now. I don't see it regularly. His ability to his depth on passing plays. He's more fluid than Divine Diablo, man. It's amazing.
He was all over the place last night, and that was the one thing that grabbed my attention. I'm like, this is how a linebacker should play. And a couple of the tackles with the angle pursuit, I was losing my mind. I'm like, this is textbook linebacker 101 right here. Like, I was so impressed with what he did last night. And I think if I remember correctly, I think Graf did bring up Diablo in terms of what Gainer was doing. And I thought about you like immediately. I was just like, holy shit. Like everything I'm hearing, I'm like, this has elite written all over it. So
Oh man.
yeah, again, I think that the way that we left off last night was definitely not a bad note to leave to finish a preseason on. So I'm just looking forward to seeing come Tuesday where we are, 53-man roster, and then look forward to our week 1 matchup versus the Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh, 100%. Also, the Nesta Jade, that was another player I kept my eye on. It's going to be hard to jump Byron Young, even though I think he plays better than Byron Young. The coaching staff clearly wants Byron Young to, they're extending his leash, so to speak, and when it comes to, playing snaps and can Nesta Jade jump him. It's probably not going to happen. But I saw some plays out there, and I'm like, Byron Young wouldn't even run into the ball. It's like he was tired. Maybe he was gassed. But I don't know. But just for what it's worth, when it comes to depth along that defensive tackle spot, that has me a tad bit worried because Matthew Butler, yes, he had a sack. Yes, Byron Young had a sack. But it didn't come by way of you dominating the guard in front of you or the center in front of you. It came by way of, you chasing down a quarterback who running around. But I'm a little nervous about that defensive tackle depth, I must say, because to me, these guys they don't play violently enough. To me, the only D tackle who plays violently at the point of attack, who's not a starter, is Nesta Jade Silvera. The rest of them do not.
What's funny is you're talking about Nesta Jade, and actually, he's a guy right now, after watching last night, I feel like he's a guy that's currently on the bubble.
I think so.
I'm very, very curious to see how it plays out for him come Tuesday. I really am.
100%. And defensive, and I'm interested to see what the cuts, because are they going to bring in a cornerback after everybody makes their cuts and everything like that? What do you think on that? Because I see.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I like where we're at. Like I spoke about it a little earlier. Faison, I think, is going to be gone, but I like the rest of this cornerback room right now. I really do. So I think they're gonna stand pat with it. We'll see. The rest of these roster cuts, we'll see if there's any corners that are potentially available that could be another added piece, and it's really going to be more of an added depth piece. We already see it's already set with Jack and Jacorian Bennett and Nate Hobbs. So we see the other 31 teams in their cuts and see if there's a cornerback that's viable, that it can be a key contributor, even as a rotational piece. But I think right now they're going to stand pat with the cornerback position.
Okay, because I'm trying to think. Well, Marvin Lewis said something that caught my attention when he did his sit down about 2 weeks ago, and he said how the defensive roster was being assembled is very likened unto his Ravens 2000 Ravens squad, meaning that you have the veterans up front, the athletic big men up front in the front seven, and the linebackers, but they had young corners. McAllister and all those guys were all in their first and second season. So I think they're very much mirroring that formula. Yeah. So from that standpoint, I'm with you. They might not bring somebody, but I'm kind of hoping that they do. Yeah, because I'm not used to seeing that many young people in a secondary. And shout out to Janarius. Shout out to Janarius Robinson, who played last night.
Yeah.
Who played his ass off last night.
Solid job all around, especially with the defense, to go against the 49ers starters and do what they did.
Yeah.
Like, again, I was very, very happy to see a lot of these guys and what they were capable of doing last night. And now it's just a matter of seeing if they make this roster or not. Elite, as always, appreciate you calling in. I'm going to try to figure out the next time we're going to be on. But I'm going to wrap because I really need to get to finishing this stuff around the house.
I know. I understand. It's Saturday morning, man. I'm in here cleaning myself. So if anybody wants to follow me, You can follow me on Twitter. My name is RaiderLady19, and I will be popping off my channel this week. Hammer and everyone. What I'm thinking about doing, what I want to do is that I'm going to make talking head videos with the video playing, and then as I build an audience, then I'll start doing lives. I don't want to jump off the straight doing lives yet because I feel like I have to earn the right to go live to a certain extent. So I'm just going to be putting out videos with my perspective and my take on things. And then Hammer, when you're ready for me, we can just link up and let's rock this motherfucker out.
Absolutely.
I'm ready.
I could tell you right now, the 140 that are in here right now, I guarantee you, if they're on X, they will follow you. The second you pop up with a YouTube channel, they're going to follow you. Like, they love your insights. They love your takes. They love everything you bring to the table. So you know that the 140 that are in here, this side of the nation is going to support you.
I appreciate it, man. I love everybody in Raider Nation. Let's get ready. September 8th is on and popping. Herbie on the turf. Let's
There we go. Take care, Lee.
Peace.
Salute to everybody in here. I appreciate each and every single one of y'all that pulled up for the presser. We were able to break down last night's preseason finale as well. On your way out, if you haven't already, do me a favor. Break them thumbs, hammer that sub, smash the bell to stay up to date with all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions in the house that Hammer built by the nation, for the nation. Raider Nation News Today. Continue to stay safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. Just because COVID is around doesn't mean you shouldn't always wash your hands and your asses. And as always, win, lose, or tie, Raider Nation till I die. Till next time, y'all. And of course, as always, on my New York, peace, love, and positivity. I'm outro.